Some people only need a simple motivational speech and they're well able and back on track again, but what do you do if you cannot even get yourself off the couch? The tool we use here is deprivation. Deprivation builds willpower. Willpower equals self-control. It's the foundation if we're to start doing more uncomfortable things. Lack of discipline is that the person has got easy access to excessive comfort. Make it difficult for yourself to gain such access. Give your router to a trusted friend, for instance, so you won't be able to use the internet for a while. It's all about routines and regularity. Although I do believe there's a spiritual, mystical nature to human emotion, everything can be thought of as a habit, even strong emotions, so this phase is about building self-control from scratch by breaking bad habits through deprivation. Simply by not doing something, you're conditioning your brain to live despite of it. This is the same mental muscle that allows you command of attention away from thoughts of procrastination. We're just building it in quite an indirect manner through deprivation challenges. Build self-discipline. First step, do not force yourself into productivity. Unlearn the brain's pleasure pathways related to procrastinating. Go without chips, beer, TV, sex, socializing, internet, any stimulation that pops into your head you indulge into instead of work. Cut it out for a period. Replace all pleasure with frustration and boredom. Instead of a movie, sit in silence. No video games. Go for a walk. Replace the most pleasurable activities with ones that yield the least enjoyment. Over time, your mind will adapt to a lower threshold of stimulation and eventually you'll grow out of those distractions. You'll be as much stimulated doing as not doing anything. When your stimulation criteria becomes very low, you'll have acquired the ability to choose what makes you amused consciously. You trained your brain to live without instant dopamine hits, e.g. social media. You don't need them anymore to feel happy, and now it doesn't bother you much if you get your dose after months through the feeling of pride of getting done with a work of art, for instance. When you're in deep procrastination, your mind is thinking, I can feel good right now, watch something funny. Deprivation softens the intensity of those urges, retrains the brain to derive equal pleasure from doing absolutely nothing. You're still not engaging in any actual productive work at this phase, only concentrate on detangling from self-destructive habits. Fast forward some weeks, you'll have gained a fair storage of willpower to kickstart the next stage of this process. Self-maintenance. Summary and list of deprivation challenges. Avoid fast food. Go without internet altogether, or a lighter version of this, do a social media or email fast. Try nofap. Try cold showers, optional. Intermittent fasting. I've noticed recently a drastic drop in energy levels right after eating a meal, at least for me personally, and now I try to fast through breakfast hours to get things done and just head straight for lunch or brunch. Follow a strict deprivation plan and you'll begin to notice over time that it's easier for you to limit certain things. The biggest sign you've finally regained self-control is when you're able yet again to say no to yourself without much effort. Until then, keep it up with deprivation. Make sure it's gradual though. Do not take away all amusements at once. One day in, one day out. It depends on the level you're at. An internet addict, for instance, might be a challenge for him to go without it even for a couple minutes. Know yourself, start small. Your work of art reflects how well you care for yourself. Poor self-care shows off in multiple forms, such as bad quality or escapism from work altogether. Now that we limited distractive habits, you got some willpower to invest in activities that could boost your energy tank even more. It's a time to get down your sleep cycle, diet and exercise routine. Now, exercise. We hear the word a lot, it is noise to the ear that it became so underrated. Exercise is so fundamental in this process. I'd say 40 or 50% of your energy comes from here. The rest is sleep and healthy food. Speaking of sleep cycle, I linked my videos on the topic in the description. One about its importance, the second on how to cure insomnia. Highly recommended. A brief reiteration. We got two types of habits, deprivation habits that aid in eliminating destructive ones, and the second type of routines are meant to help you fuel your energy tank. Learning how to self-deprive from a stimulus is a habit in and of itself. That's what we've seen, firstly. Now we look at fuel-building habits. So far I said you need a regular exercise routine, junk food avoidance, and good sleep. Cold showers, intermittent fasting as I said, meditation, martial arts classes, best for building discipline from my opinion. You can add on or drop one of the habits in this list depending on your time and how severe your idleness. The fundamentals, I'd say sleep and food, exercise, meditation and deprivation as the basis. Train yourself to notice and eliminate distractions and unhealthy routines daily. For this, you need a lot of self-awareness on what is controlling your behavior, the cues of your habits, automatic urges. This is why meditating is important. It trains awareness, helps you process things happening in a slower pace and be highly aware of what you're doing. Example is when you wake up in the morning. You're probably very unconscious of the fact that the first thing you do is grab your phone and jump on Tinder or Facebook. Most of us think discipline simply means stop bitching and get shit done, but yet the term, when deconstructed, implies so many micro issues that should be dealt with at first to fix the main thing. What I realized through observation of myself and others, small daily habits that work to fuel your energy tank on the one hand, engaging in intermittent deprivation of all sorts on the other, is what actually defines the word self-discipline. I also came to speculate that motivation is a byproduct of good self-control and self-maintenance. Everything is subtly connected. Recap. Build self-control through deprivation. Eliminate distractions. At this phase, don't think about work. It's all about dropping unhealthy routines. Second, incorporate self-maintenance activities. Food, sleep, meditation, exercise, and anything else that you could add to fuel your energy tank. Third, start working on your craft while maintaining a balance between work and self-care. Keep up those good habits you've built, but don't forget that it's fine from time to time to let go on a vacation. Don't fall into the perfectionist side of the spectrum or else you risk a burnout. Realize that if the tips in this video did not work for you, your procrastination might be a sign that you've been working so hard lately that your body is forcing you to take some rest. Or it might be psychological concerns like depression, which should be given enough time, treated separately before building your self-discipline. And as a last productivity tip from me, try to do everything before you go online. Do your meditation, creative work, exercise first, and then go online, grab your phone and distract yourself. Thanks for watching.